Hello, neighbors. Welcome back to the neighborhood. I'm Squealer D, and I am back again. This time, neighbors, I'm back in the world of Jamerrill Stewart. In case you didn't know, Jammy is a mega mama YouTuber with 379,000 followers and has been sharing her large family living online for about 12 years. Back in November of 2023, the Intrusive Thoughts team made a couple videos about Jammy and her husband Travis. At the time, Jammy was making vague videos about some trauma she had recently experienced that was not her recent miscarriage at the time. She had stopped wearing her wedding ring, and she no longer talked about or showed her husband Travis. Turns out, old Jammy reported Travis to the law for doing a ninja move on her small son over a moldy bagel he didn't want to eat. I guess she wasn't living the wonderful mega mama life the last 10 years like she had been portraying on her YouTube channel. Those videos exposed some of the truth of this dysfunctional mega family to the world. Jammy, however, has still yet to say anything of substance on the matter. She instead pivoted to posting repetitive Mega Mama process shopping hauls and mostly unhealthy Mega Mama marathon cooking with clickbait titles and thumbnails throughout. In the last 6 months, she has averaged about 125,000 views a video. So we are not talking about a small influencer like Maryon scraping by with less than 10K views a video most days. This woman has a large following, and boy, are they vocal. When we released the first Jamerrill videos, we received hundreds of comments attacking me for speaking about their adorable, down-to-earth Jammy. And when we go back 12 years, and Jammy was one of the only women online showing other mamas how to feed and educate their children, I can understand that this lady in her robe, hair scarf, or ball cap seems sincere. Unfortunately, the more she's shared over the years and the more others have shared about her, the more she seems to be a complete fraud. She seems to spend thousands and thousands of dollars every few months for a new hobby, but never follows through to completion or fruition. She spent thousands on chickens for eggs and meat, got 2 new chicken tractors that cost $650 each, but hasn't spoke about the chickens since the miscarriage. Apparently, she gave all the chickens away, sold them, or let them all die along with her homestead dreams. She spent over $3,000 for a Pro freeze dryer when she was building that Mega Mama store in her basement, but never mentions either, and still goes shopping at grocery stores frequently. It seems it was all for views. I wonder how many of her viewers wasted money buying into her impulsiveness. Didn't she used to have a cow too? She may not show her children in the YouTube videos anymore because YouTube has been cracking down on child exploitation more and more recently, but her channel was built on the backs of her 9 children. She would not have grown nearly as fast if she were a single woman making freezer meals for one. Her channel grew massive quickly because she was always flaunting her 9 young children in front of the camera, claiming she was homeschooling them all. We know now she has a tutor, a teacher, a daycare provider, whatever you want to call it, that does all of the actual work. No hate. I wish Maryon would get her kids one so they could actually learn. But why misrepresent yourself as something you're not? All it does is make young mamas think that they have to live up to some ridiculous, fake expectation of what a single human being can actually do in a day. When are these mega mamas going to be honest and actually show the truth? Never. Because if they shared the real truth, they wouldn't get comments of praise like these, and instead would be seen as the unfit parents they are. I have been asked many times why I would question Jammy and want to hear Travis's side of the story. But that seems obvious to me. Why wouldn't we want to hear both sides of the story if we were going to hear one side? Also, this video helps to show exactly the gravity of Jammy sharing her mega mama life online for the world to see. It wasn't me that called into the local police department to get the police report revealing their family's horrible tragedy. Nope, it was Miranda 22 over at the Gossip Bakery. The Gossip Bakery is a hate site where an army of people post in an online forum about popular online personalities. For example, both Jammy and Maryon have a thread. Everything the bakers say is public and will show up in a Google search. This means the children of these mega mamas are growing up with millions of people discussing their private moments with no filter, and it will be there forever on Google, tied to their government names. So who is the bad guy here? Me for making a video pointing all of this out and demanding a change? Or Jammy and Amy for continuing to make videos and talk about their children's private lives when they know a large group of people have already been convened for years and have been sharing any and all information they can get their hands on, all while making rude, nasty remarks about all of them. It gets even worse than that, though. These ladies are not only hating on Jammy and Amy and making sure their kids will never have their privacy, they are also doing something much more nefarious. Make sure you stick around a little bit longer so that I can explain. Jammy has been focusing on losing weight the last 6 months. She claims she's lost over 50 pounds and has went from about 210 pounds to about 156 pounds. You would think this would be a great thing for her, and she would be proud to show her many followers exactly how she's losing the weight, as many are struggling in the same areas. But Jammy is still making massive freezer meals for her family on the regular and buying tons of processed foods. Not exactly what a person losing weight and trying to live a healthier lifestyle should be doing. She also hasn't done a Q&A, so her many followers in a similar situation could benefit from her advice. Now, I know some of you are going to say, "But Squealer, that's her business if she wants to do a Q&A or not." But they are actually a staple on her channel, and she has made many throughout the years. They normally get her a ton of views, which is what she wants because she can make hundreds to thousands of dollars for one single video. So why wouldn't a good Christian mega mama want to do a weight loss Q&A to help her flock and the many mouths she feeds at home? Could it be because she used a weight loss drug to lose it and doesn't want to admit it like so many other influencers? Jammy claims she's not the same and never will be because we are currently watching her walk out of an impossible nightmare. So she started walking 20 to 40,000 steps a day most days for her own mental health and to find enough endorphins to make it through, whatever that means. That turned into running, and now she is running 5Ks and more to save her life. Good for her for getting healthy, but what about the kids?
Super mega Chobani flip deal. While I'm filming this, I sent a case outside with some spoons, so there you go. That's how I babysit around here. There's 4 of each of these, so marked down to $1.49. These are past the Best By date by a few days, but it's okay because already one box, it's already gone.
They should eat large amounts of super sugary treats that are expired because their mega mama got them on discount and saved some money, and she needs a free convenient babysitter now that her husband is gone. No. Why can't she change her habits for herself and the kids? If all 7 kids ate this case of yogurt, they ate 360 calories each and 42 grams of sugar, or over 3 tablespoons. The American Heart Association recommends children and teens consume less than 25 grams of added sugar per day. You all know where I stand on this. Not feeding your children nutritious, healthy food the majority of the time is child abuse. Period. Speaking of babysitter, where are the kids when Jammy does her 5 to 6 hours of walking nearly every day? Are they living with Travis the majority of the time now? Because 6 hours of walking every day seems excessive for mental or physical health, and it doesn't leave very much time at all for homeschooling or homemaking for a brood of 7, which includes 4 teens and several small children, including a toddler. Now, I know a lot of you ladies are going to get on here and scream, "Squeaker D-bag, you leave her alone." But hear me out first. She didn't lose 50 pounds in just a short time walking 6 hours a day and eating Trim Healthy Mama like she claims. Trim Healthy Mama is a diet written by 2 sister mamas who have no nutrition degrees or specialties, but made up a diet. Now, I'm not saying the diet won't or can't work, but when Jammy does this diet, she still grossly overeats and has caffeine-filled energy drinks to try and maintain a wildly crazy 6-hour daily workout routine.
organic coffee. Okay, I'm going to get a case of this because I do like getting high in natural ways, such as endorphins and coffee. Little something for Mama.
If she was trying to get healthy and lose weight, she would be cutting the caffeine and making sure that she's in a calorie deficit, which just means eating fewer calories than you're burning. For example, someone Jammy's age, weight, and sex only needs about 22 to 2,400 calories a day at most, and that is with her excessive 6 hours of walking every day. If she walks less, she doesn't need more than about 1,900 calories. Jammy admits she doesn't count calories, so how could she know if she's in a deficit?
It's been 3 years now. I have been working Trim Healthy Mama again.
Jammy has said recently that she's been on the THM diet for the last 3 years since she was pregnant with her youngest son and had all of her kidney issues in 2021. But looking back at photos, you could see she didn't change much from May of 2021 after giving birth to May of 2023, right before the miscarriage and the horrible mega mama trauma she experienced back in August of 2023. She made an Instagram post on December 4th, 2023, stating she had lost 50 pounds. And then, almost 3 months later, on February 25th, 2024, she posted a YouTube video stating she had an over 50-pound weight loss. And then, almost 3 more months later, on May 14th, she posted a YouTube video called What I Eat in a Week to Lose 60 Pounds. So is she claiming she only lost 10 pounds in the 6 months from December to May? We can clearly see that that is not the truth. Did she use Ozempic during this time to quickly lose the weight and doesn't want to divulge that and instead pretends to run 6 hours a day? Let me know in the comments if you think Jammy has Ozempic face, like the Gossip Bakery has implied numerous times over the last few months. With a simple Google search, you can see that hiding Ozempic use is an actual thing. Kendrick Lamar even recently released a song accusing popular rapper, singer, and actor Drake of secretly taking Ozempic to lose weight, along with a slew of other hideous things. Anyways, some may say we should just give Jammy grace and let her do whatever she wants because she's a tough mama just doing what she can to make it through. Okay, but why does she have to film it and sell it so that in the future and forevermore, her kids will be victims of their childhood trauma being recorded and replayed for the world to consume as entertainment? Every time she tells her followers she's walking through a nightmare, that is another chance for one of her 9 children to discover sometime in the future that their childhood was a literal nightmare for their mom. That shouldn't be available for those kids' future love interests to watch at will. It shouldn't be available for future employers or even nemesis to just go and watch at will. Jammy is using her children's childhood traumas and privacy as a way to make a living. What did her children get out of it? What did Travis get out of it after 10 plus years of being a full-time live-in nanny, electrician, mechanic, and errand boy, while Jammy built herself a very good career? What did her oldest son get out of her channel? Jammy's older son, Jaden, who is now a police officer and has his own wife and child, helped Jammy and Travis raise up the younger brood, and he was very interested in video production, acting, and directing. He has his own YouTube channel and started uploading to it in 2013 at 15 years old, and his last upload was January of 2020. He has 8.74K subscribers and over 300 videos. In all of those years, I could only find one video on Jammy's YouTube promoting her son and his video creation talents, and it was when he won Best Editing and Best Film from a fair contest in August of 2018, when he turned 18 years old. She linked the video called Notes on her video called He Won, with over 20K views. In that video, he got 7K views. Imagine wanting to be in the same career cluster as your mom, who has over 350K subscribers on a well-known platform like YouTube, and she can't share your videos every single chance she gets. She can't hire you as a videographer, and she can't help you get filming jobs and clients from her cult-like mega mama following. I rarely see a video where the sweet angelic wig wearer isn't promoting something to make a buck. Bingo Blitz, native deodorant, Temu, Upside, CTC Math, and the National Pork Board, but she can't promote her son's dream of making a full-length film because it wouldn't put anything into her account. Why couldn't she help him create his dream like she did with her Successful Business Mama course that she's always hawking? I'll tell you why. Because Jammy is here for attention, clout, and money, and she couldn't stand the thought of her son doing better than her on YouTube or in life. Jammy is no different than any of the other mega mamas on YouTube exploiting their families for views and money. Several of Amy Maryon's children also started daily vlogs on YouTube, Jaden and Evan, and both of them ended up quickly deleting their channels after Amy only shared about them a couple times. It's why these mega mamas don't teach their kids very much. They want to keep them ignorant so they don't know what they're missing out on in life. Famous people who are actually rich and famous don't do that to their kids. Just these wannabe mega mamas who will sell anything to anyone to keep people watching and keep that sweet AdSense and sponsor money rolling in. Think about it. Will and Jada Smith and their kids Willow and Jaden, John Voight and daughter Angelina Jolie, Martin Sheen and son Charlie Sheen, Kevin Bacon and daughter Sosie Bacon, Goldie Hawn and her daughter Kate Hudson, Clint Eastwood and son Scott Eastwood, Billy Ray Cyrus and daughter Miley. We could go on and on with famous people who use nepotism to help their family members succeed in the same career as them. If Jammy is such a sweet, adorable, wonderful, successful dream maker, mentor, mega mama, guru, like all of her subs claim, why didn't she help her son reach his dream? Why is his YouTube no longer active? Why did he become a cop and she immediately jumped on to being a police mom? I guess being a content creator like her wasn't good enough. Or he just didn't have enough views for her to brag about. I bet if his videos would have blew up and he got 97 million views like she did, she would still be talking about him in every video, like she does her sponsors, that are nothing but wasteful, sinful, abhorrent companies, most of whom sell cheap Chinese crap. Not only did Jammy imply she lost all her weight walking 17 miles a day over several months and never fully supported her son's dreams, while supposedly helping other mamas become successful for cash, she also revealed to the world that her father was a horrible gambling drunk and took his own life after spending 13 years terrifying her and her mother Terrell with his inebriation.
I just remember waking up all the time as a small child. I would know my dad was home because it was just like insane screaming rages. And it would sound like furniture was flying all over the house. And my mom was crying, begging for him to stop. And somewhere within there, I remember my dad was sick again. And he was in the hospital again. Psychiatric, there you go. I have been a psychiatric nurse. I do know that term. So
Jammy is always saying she was a nurse, and now even a psychiatric nurse. But as usual, what she is saying is not true. Jammy has only ever held a professional license as a licensed practical nurse. She has never been licensed as a registered nurse. What is the difference, you may ask? An LPN is a nursing diploma or practical nursing certificate. It takes 12 to 18 months to complete. An RN is an associate degree in nursing and takes 2 to 3 years to complete. A psychiatric mental health nurse is a registered nurse or RN, not an LPN who went to school half of the amount of time. If she was doing RN work without the license, she was working outside of her scope of practice as an LPN and could have been sued heavily by both patients and employers. Back to her story.
Really like, okay, there's this 10-year-old girl living in this dirty house and she doesn't have water, she didn't have deodorant, and no one's taking care of her. Wait a minute, I have a dad. I'm going to have him come get me. He came and got me. I moved myself in. But I had a good 3 solid years of trying to survive on my own. I had to stay with my dad. And again, he was a tired drunk by then.
You can hear Jammy's entire 2+ hour story on her channel, but let me recap for you. Jammy's parents were married 10 years before she was born, and the whole time her dad was a drunk. Her horse-hearted mom was just blind and in love, not herself an addict, so she decided to save her husband and marriage by moving and buying a second piece of property with him, far away from everyone he knew and loved. Have him build a barn and a house and get pregnant and have a baby with him. even though she wasn't sure if he would live much longer. Things, of course, got much worse after Jammy was born, and they lost their house and property twice, even though Mom was supposedly making buco bucks with her horse stud that Dad had bought her. They moved around a bunch, most times not even having running water or electricity. Supposedly, Dad was a cheater and a gambler, but Mom still went back to him numerous times, even making Jammy live in hotels and cars. And then after they became homeless once again, Mom took Jammy to live with her dying parents in a hoarder house, and then left her all alone to fend for herself after Grandma died, never checking on her or her demented, dirty grandfather. Finally, Jammy got smart and called her dad, who had a job, as usual, and an apartment, and he had never abandoned her, and she went to live with him. And finally, she had a bedroom and a bed and clothes and food. They even had dinner together at night. It sounds like we haven't been told the full story, and Jammy's dad wasn't the only one that had issues. It sounds like her mom may have actually had an addiction problem too. Why would her mom quit the insurance gig that paid so well and gave her a free car so they could move around some more and Jammy could fall even further behind in school? She was illiterate in the 5th grade, for God's sake. Why couldn't her mom afford to keep the 2-acre farm that Jammy said was purchased to have very little overhead? And she was making $10,000 at a time from her Arabian stud. Why would she leave her 10-year-old in a home with no food or running water? That doesn't sound like someone dealing with the effects of DV and a partner's addictions. It sounds like someone who allows their own addictions to consistently come before their child. Back to her story.
When I was 13, my father committed suicide when I was home alone with him, and I found him dead. Well, after that, I was with my mom again, and so I guess you can say that that was the blessing in my dad dying, is that I got my mom back. I don't know that that would have happened if my dad had not have died.
It is a very unfortunate thing that her father took that path. But the issue here is just like the assault and battery on her son the day her husband did a ninja move on him. All we have is Jammy's word. She gets online and shares to the world that her father, James Donald Sessions, was a horrible drunk, abused her and her mother, and took his own life in a selfish, drunken stupor. And automatically, everyone with a heart feels sorry for her. And yeah, it's very sad. But what if her truth she's preaching is not the full or even close to the real truth? This isn't a story about a woman and a child who were abused. This is a story about a woman and man who abused their child her entire childhood. But Dad isn't here anymore, so all of the blame got shifted to him. And the story has been rewritten to suit Jammy and her mother. This story is one that should not have been told by one person, because Jammy and her mother are not the only ones involved, or that know the real truth. James Sessions had a family who knows who he was, and according to his sister Nancy, the story Jammy told is untrue, and she is just a big copy of her toxic mom Terrell. According to Nancy, James was not just a lush, and he loved Jammy more than anything, and he was even the reason she was brought into the world. And what actually killed him was Jammy's sweet mama walking out on him after 20 years of marriage. Jammy's father passed in January of 1993, and by September of 1995, Jammy's mom Terrell had already remarried Larry Joe, who she divorced 2 short years later in 1997. Perhaps Jammy's dad wasn't the only one who had been unfaithful during the marriage. Jammy's Aunt Nancy seems like a credible witness to me about her own brother. She is a teacher and artist and has been well respected in her community for many years. She has authored a book of poetry, and she's friends with Jammy's son Jaden and his wife Meg on Facebook. I couldn't imagine if my brother took his own life, and then his child, with almost 500,000 viewers, told half-truths that he was some evil drunkard that abused everyone who loved him before he took his own life. Seems to me the family that doesn't talk to Jammy all talk to each other. Her son, her husband, her father's sister. Makes me think that perhaps Terrell and Jamerrill are the toxic ingredients in this story, and not everyone else. This is the problem with putting you and your children's private lives online for the world's entertainment.
Many of the comments wanted to know, well, where was my mom, and why didn't my mom do this, and why didn't my mom do that? My mom was in the middle of the storm too. I'm not mad at my mom. That's just what I want to say. Like, I will not have any comments tearing down my mom.
Jammy makes sure to tell everyone to not come for her mom, but her father is left labeled as a lush, cheat, abuser, gambler, and psycho. And don't forget how Jammy called his family alcoholics, bad influences, and enablers. You don't get to tell your story on the internet and dictate other people's response. My response is that this story should not be monetized by Jammy because it is now forever etched in the public. Imagine how crazy this video would be if Jammy's mother would have recorded and exploited her homeless, abusive childhood for the world to see. That brings us back to the Gossip Bakery and the nefarious way they are manipulating these mega mama vloggers. The majority of these gossipers used to all be fans of Jammy and Amy Maryon, and most of the influencers they rag on, but somehow along the way, they saw through the lies and BS these mega mamas spew and found others on the bakery just like them. Normally, I wouldn't say anything is wrong with finding others who share a common interest and having some giggles, but this is much deeper. Parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party, the persona, is completely unaware of the other's existence. It's easy to understand this type of behavior as we've seen it time and time again with big acts like the Beatles, Michael Jackson, and Elvis. Only that's not what these weirdos are doing. They are in an actual online relationship with these YouTubers. They creep, crawl, sneak, snake, stalk, comment, and literally spend hundreds of hours making multiple accounts and thousands of comments directly to Jammy and Amy because they have realized that both Jammy and Amy respond directly back to them. They're in a sick, twisted relationship where the bakers say something and then these mega mama vloggers respond to it or input the change directly into their vlog. It's like when Miss Barb sends a gift card or a gift and she gets a mention on the daily vlogs, and it makes her feel good. Only they say something like, show us your running or swimming, or you didn't really do it. And then they harp on it for weeks about not being real because they haven't seen it in a vlog. And then lo and behold, you have Jammy doing some weird fast shuffle around her driveway and Amy doing some frog crawl in her mucky chemical polluted pool. Can you imagine being in a relationship where actual strangers decide what you do and don't do on camera? Because if you don't, then what you're showing isn't real enough? Makes sense how Amy and Jammy become so confused and lie or misrepresent themselves so much. It's also why neither one can be trusted as a reliable source.
Then, I let voices in my head, and I let people speak things in my head, and I let people tell me, you need to be more of this. This is not right, or that's not a good thing. That's not a healthy thing going on in your life, and so...
It's bad enough that Jammy and Amy both allow the Gossip Bakery to decide their content, but the worst part is these are influential Christian women we're talking about. They claim to follow the Lord, but they're allowing heathens on the bakery to tell them what to film. I've dealt with the bakery before, so I know I will get a lot of comments saying, "But Squeaker, the bakers are just giving her good advice and pointing out what she does wrong like you." Nah. Most people in the bakery are simply jealous of what Jammy and Amy have because no matter what they say, they all wish they could be them. Several of them have even gave homemaking content creation a go and failed horribly.
Wiping down my knife. Tag 'em, put 'em in the fridge. Let everything simmer and get cooking. Guess what I forgot? One of the most important days. Not for me. Ooh, in the clam diddly yam sauce. Bam. Likes, shares, and subscribes. It scared this poor bastard to death.
But the Gossip Bakery is also horrible to these ladies' kids and families. Why would they even read what these individuals are saying, much less listen to them and perform like a circus animal for them, name-calling, and much worse, even saying they hope they actually die? These are sick people, not people that should be giving regular input on a Christian mega mama's channel meant to positively influence others. The most vocal members of the bakery, who have literally posted thousands of times about these two women, admittedly were conceived and birthed out of the slimy, malignant, toxic waste culture that these mega mamas create. But that still makes them mutants. These keyboard Karens openly admit ghoulish things, like they don't care about the kids, they're just hating. And then in the next post, they literally beg for the social media accounts of these same children. Actual predator behavior. So why on God's green earth would you listen to these demons about anything that concerns your children? These women have spent time locked up and work entry-level jobs in their 60s. What in the heck can they tell you about running a successful business? A lot of these women are as single as a dollar bill. What can they tell you about your relationship? Some of these women don't even have a doctor and make up weird lies about their childhood. So why would you listen to them about your health or what things you may or may not fabricate for the sake of YouTube? Why would you listen to this basket of deplorables about absolutely anything? This is all information these women, or should I say people, have freely posted online. You can read it for yourself. All of their comments have been archived by the forum. Of course, we double-check some of the things they said with a few more in-depth information security tools that are available to everyone. Any and all information was obtained from the public domain and is completely legal for me to possess. Even still, I took care not to expose any personal information. They just don't understand how much information about yourself that you offer up when you're laying around on your cell phones, scrolling Amy and Jammy's threads, posting photos of your doggos and the sandwich you had for lunch. That's the problem with these mega mamas and the bakers. They seem to forget that a picture might be worth 1,000 words, but knowledge is priceless. Why are Jammy and Amy even spending their time reading this bakery drivel when they have so many people who don't talk to them like trash? It's only eating away at their mental health. Imagine what it's doing to the children who do not have fully developed brains and haven't had 40 plus years to build up thick skin like their mothers. This is what happens when you start selling your private life. People discuss it and it makes you feel some type of way, and you feel forced to respond. It was never going to work long term as a business, but they just don't know how to walk away from the money. It's nothing new, as reality TV makes up 40% of television programming in the United States. These women are just crazy enough to sell their children, husbands, divorces, disabilities, ailments, and sins online for the world to see. Eventually, people will get sick of seeing these clowns dance when the gossip bakery tells them to, and feed their kids like second-class citizens. Just like people are finally seeing that Drake's six-pack was courtesy of Ozempic and a tummy tuck, not diet and hard work. Entertainers like to tell you to work hard to get to where they are in life, but in reality, it wasn't just hard work, but grabbing every opportunity and exploiting everything they could, even when it wasn't what was best for others. Do we think Travis, who is suddenly homeless, jobless, and familyless, would say that Jammy's YouTube career was a good thing in their life for the last 12 years? Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!